everyone. Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of January, 2023. And I'm so glad to be here. Isaiah Timileyin, thank you for joining. Good evening. How are you? It's evening in Nigeria. It's 1 p.m. EST in America. And it's, I think, 7 a.m. in New Zealand. So thank you all for joining. We're just going to wait for a minute or two so that other people can join. Thank you, Dr. Sam Ekundayo, for joining. Thank you all. Yeah, thank you all for joining. All right, so let me quickly give a brief synopsis about myself, and then I will add Dr. Sam Ekundayo on the live, and he's going to join me as our main guest, and I'm so honored to have him. Okay, so my name is Dr. Motola. I have a long surname, so I usually just use my brand name as Dr. Motola, just short and simple and sweet. So my first name is Omotola, but my surname is Ononeye Babajide, which is very long. So I just shorten my brand name as Dr. Motola. So I am an academic by profession. I have been in academia for more than 2 decades. I started teaching in the university in 2001, which is almost 22 years ago. And I love academia. I love teaching. I love the academic enterprise. I love the knowledge industry and all of that. And so in 2020, over time, I decided to branch into other aspects of impacting lives outside of academia. And I decided I was going to be a coach to higher education students. That's how I started. And then eventually I refined my assignment, and then I began to serve scholars. I began to serve academic professionals and career professionals to build executive presence, and to also help a lot of academic professionals and career professionals, translate their minds and their mindsets so that they can translate their knowledge into wealth generating endeavor. So I'm particularly an all-rounder where I help people with their academic success, professional success, and personal development. And so that is what I do right now. And I'm going to be talking more about it as we go along. So that's what I do. And over time, I found out that I started to have this burden. It started with a burden. I really didn't understand it. I didn't know how to articulate it. But as I began to take action, I realized that it's an assignment God wants me to do. And that assignment is to help a lot of our academic professionals who have advanced degrees and who have not been able to translate their knowledge into affluence or translate their brilliance into money-making ventures that would help them, maximize their potential and also help them become somebody that could make an impact in their world. And so I decided to start helping academics build businesses. But a lot of the academics found it very difficult to build a business. They found it very difficult to start a business. And the reason why is academia kinds of limits us with our thinking. We always are very booky, very nerdy, very into puffed up knowledge. We really don't know how to translate our knowledge into money-making ventures. And when I decided to start my business, I realized that I had to unlearn, relearn, and do a lot of learning again. And I started to also help a lot of my colleagues to do that. And I'm so excited because a lot of them are coming up. And there's a particular professor of mine who called me the other day and told me he has started his business and he has started shipping out his products to Dubai, to places outside of Kenya. And I was so excited. And I'm going to share about that the more. So anyway, I found out that a lot of us do not understand what purpose is. It took me quite a while to find my purpose because I was always asking myself, I'm a lecturer, I teach, I empower people with knowledge. So what is purpose? I used to hear purpose, find your purpose, but I really didn't understand it until when the pandemic started. And before then, I knew that God wanted to use me in a way, but I was just very limited with my I was fearful. I was not courageous enough to just put myself out there. And then I just felt the little place I was, it's fine, it was okay. But when the pandemic happened and I saw people dying, it made me a little bit more reflective. And then I started to ask questions. And, you know, over time, God revealed to me what I really needed to do. And, you know, I needed to shine and the talents is giving me and all of that and how to bring it out to the world. So we're going to talk more about that while I invite Dr. Sam Ekundayo. I'm so
Hi, Doc.
How are you?
Very, very good, thank you. Very good, thank you. It's a joy to be
Looking
here.
very blingy. Like,
Sorry?
I I'm looking very blingy because of this live that we're having because I'm so excited.
Yes, but I'm guessing that it's just a network and everything will look all right. But you're looking amazing, by the
Yeah,
way, Doc. You are looking amazing.
I'm looking very blingy because of my tone. It's very
Oh yeah. No, sorry. Now I get it now. Because all of a sudden, the moment I came on, you started to look like the network started to behave somehow. But yeah, you look amazing, Doc. You look amazing, and it was awesome listening to you so far over the last few minutes, explaining and using yourself.
all right. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm going to thank you for granting this honor, giving us this honor, this privilege to share your knowledge, to share out of your wisdom, and to be enlightened and empowered by the information that you will give us.
Praise
So let me just quickly
God.
introduce you to our guest and give my introduction. So Dr. Sam Ekundayo, I was actually captivated somehow with how I got to know you with one of your posts, and then I, onto your feed, and then I started to read about the things that you were talking about, and there is a reason I decided to follow you. Can you hear me properly?
For some weird reason, your voice just started becoming mumbled, and then the internet and I'm not sure if it's just on my
Because I can hear you very well.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's just from my end then. But yeah, but I think I'm hearing you. I think I'm able to still. I'm not sure. Somebody's saying no. I'm not sure whether. But yeah. Please.
Hello, everyone.
Let's.
Can you hear?
Oh,
Can you
somebody
hear
said
us?
we can't. We can't, ma. So it means they're not hearing you as well. But it looks better now.
Um, please wave if you can hear me. Wave if
Yeah,
you can hear me.
I can hear you now, and it's
You
clearer
can
now.
hear me.
Yeah, the
All
image
right.
is clearer now. Your voice is clearer too.
Okay. Everyone joining us. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Otherwise, I could. People are joining, but I want to know if they can hear us. Okay,
Yes,
it's better now.
everyone says yes,
Okay.
it's better now. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Palessa. Hi, everyone. Okay, so let me quickly introduce Dr. Sam Ekundayo. Like I was saying, I was captivated by your message on your feed, and I started to follow. And as a matter of fact, I was also looking for resource persons to help me navigate this topic, this theme that got laid in my heart. And that theme was PhDs can be exceptional entrepreneurs. And I gave a synopsis just before I came up with you on why that started. I will talk about that the more as we go along. Anyway, I found out that you could be a very good resource person for this life or for this theme. And I approached you, and yeah, here we are after about, I think, a month or 6 weeks thereabouts. So, so this is just to charge people that are listening that if you have an idea, just do it. Go for it. Yes. We might be scared, we might be fearful, we might be like, okay, what's going to happen? But just have that encouragement and just go for it. You never know. And I know this life, many people are going to be blessed. I am so sure. Anyway, Dr. Sam Ekundayo is a senior lecturer like I am. He's in the academics. He's I think you're into computer
Yes,
IT
information systems. Yeah.
So you're going to talk a lot about yourself, but I just want to tell people that you're purposely called, or you're popularly known as the purpose preacher. You're going to tell us a little bit about that. And I read in your bio, on your profile, that you did a talk a TEDx talk on purpose, the ultimate cure to suicide. So you're going to tell us a little bit about that.
Sure.
And I'm so glad because you're also an advanced degree holder. You have a business. You know, you are in the business also of impacting people, and you're making profit from it. So yeah, the floor is yours. Tell us about yourself and what you do. Why did you pursue your PhD? And yeah, we'll take it from there.
All right. Okay. I would like to keep the introduction short so that we can get into the main topic of the day anyway. So for those who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Samuel Ekundayo, just as you've heard, Dr. Samuel Ekundayo. I have a PhD in Business Information Systems, a master's degree of Knowledge Management from Nanyang Technological University, PhD from Auckland University of Technology, and my bachelor's degree from Coventry University in the UK in Engineering Business Management. So I happened to, yes, to trail the entire academic line up onto getting a PhD. But my greatest joy isn't the PhD. My greatest joy is my ability to add value to lives, either in the classroom with my students, and most importantly, in helping people discover their life's purpose. So every single day, what I'm able to do to help people discover their life's purpose is what gives me my greatest joy and my greatest fulfillment in life. I am married to a woman I call my treasure. Her name is Dudu Shewa. I gave her the name Dudu Shewa. Her name is actually Blessing Ekundayo, Dr. Blessing Ekundayo as well. She doesn't have a PhD, but she's a medical doctor. So I always say one of us gives headache, the other person kills the headache. And
That's both, amazing.
Yeah, we're both blessed with two boys to the glory of God. We're based here in Auckland, New Zealand, the end of the world. Been here now for 14 good years to the glory of God. And I work with the Open Polytechnic here in New Zealand as a senior lecturer, as heard earlier on. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm sure we get to the other parts of how do you discover your life purpose and so on and so forth later on.
Thank you so much.
Doc.
Thank you. So, have you always wanted to be an academic? If so, why?
Good question. Since the age of 14, I have no idea how I conceived that dream, but I think it all stemmed from the fact that since my primary school days, right? Because I got into secondary school at the age of 11, but since my primary school days, I realized something that was so very interesting was the fact that after we were, done with our classes, my fellow students would come to me after the classes to reteach them the very same things that our teacher has just finished teaching the entire classroom. All right. And that ranged from different topics like, things like mathematics, to English language when we're in primary school, to sciences. They would want me to reteach them. So I've come to realize that they had discovered that gift, of teaching in me, my fellow classmates, and they realize that every time I reteach them, they understand it better, or they understood it better. Exactly. They just grasp the concept better. I have a gift of making things very simple. I have a gift of taking complex concepts, and breaking them down into very simpler, easily digestible concepts. And that has been the theme from my primary school. And then when I got to secondary school as well, I realized it was the same thing. High school, by the way, if anyone is in, outside of Nigeria, I realized, the same thing continued, and people would come to me to reteach the very same thing that the teacher has taught all of us, right? Literally, I was in the same class as them. And it wasn't like I had studied this thing, prior to class or anything. No, the very same thing that I grasped from the teacher, I have to reteach it to my mates, break it down for them. And I realize that oftentimes when I'm done, there is always this aha moment, for them. It's like, oh, so that was what the teacher meant when she said that. Oh, so that was that. So it went on and on and on. And, when I turned 14, from nowhere, I started to get a sense that I love teaching. I enjoy teaching. I didn't feel like my mates were burdening me by asking me to reteach the same content that the teacher had taught. It felt like I was enjoying what they were asking me to do. So, before long, I started to, I think it was when I, got to university, I started to organize tutorials, or even, lead tutorial classes from my fellowship, my school fellowship, and people would come. I'll teach chemistry, I'll teach maths 101, I'll teach engineering maths, I'll teach physics, and so on and so forth. I started to get very interesting because I also have a good sense of humor. So the very things that make people cringe and cry in the classroom, by the time they come to my tutorial lessons, they are just having fun, and they're learning and they're growing, and it was getting better. So that was how I came to the, to the knowledge, so to speak, of, okay, I am great at teaching. This is a gift. This is uncommon. My gift of communication is outstanding. I then need to, create a career out of this, so to speak. And it was teaching for me until at a point I realized, no, I didn't want to teach kids. I didn't want to teach younger kids. I actually want to teach adults. And I would literally say, it just were just thoughts and imaginations in my head. And every time I try to imagine my future, I would see myself in front of a large audience. Every time I sleep to dream, every time I am awake to dream about my future, I would always see myself in front of a large audience. In the myopicness of my thinking and imagination at the time, I thought I was in a lecture room. Later on, I realized that it was something bigger that God was trying to show me, but my concept of understanding at the time was just about the classroom, because I always see myself teaching this massive group of people, or talking to this massive group of people in a massive lecture theater, or sometimes a big hall, so the way I could interpret it then was that I was, or I would be, a lecturer. And I wrote that down and I started to pursue it. I wrote it down to the point that I said I was not going to get married until I finished my PhD. And I was not going to work. I was not going to do any full-time job until I had pursued my PhD. And that was what happened. I finished my bachelor's, went straight to master's, from master's straight to PhD. And it was after PhD that I started to listen to any woman talk about marriage or...
Oh, you were the one who talked about marriage. He didn't talk about marriage. You were the one.
Yeah, that's actually the truth. I was not talking about marriage, but I was just kidding by saying that.
That's so interesting. And what caught me was the fact that you knew that teaching was your gift, and you built on it. So we're going to go later into the business of knowing what your gifts are, what your talents are, and how to maximize it. But before we go into that, I want to ask you, now that you knew that teaching was your calling, or teaching was your gift, and you wanted to be in a place where you could exhibit that gift and that talent to bless more people, what now made you extend that gift into a business, and why?
Great question. Extending it into a business came out of the blessings of having a coach. And somebody's listening to us right now. If I could look you in the eye, if you do not learn, actually, I'm going to share this as, first of all, a story. Some years ago, I called my dad and I said, Dad, I knew why we were poor growing up, because I came from a very humble background. Thankfully, things have changed a lot now. Very humble background, and I don't want to go too deep into that story so we don't get too emotional.
Okay.
But things were very tough for us growing up. Really tough. Struggle to eat sometimes. We'll go to bed without food many times. And my dad said, what have you discovered? I said, Dad, I realized that when we were growing up, nobody knew what to come to us for.
Come again. Nobody
knew what to come to us for. In other words, people didn't have a reason to pay us.
I get you.
My parents didn't have the concept or grasp the concept of building a brand around their gifts. Somebody is listening to me right now. The source of your poverty is your lack of understanding on how to build a business centered around your gifts. And I'm not saying your calling and your purpose now. I'm talking about your gifts. So if you're listening to this, you want to end poverty in your generation, you want to end poverty in your family, you want to end the drought, right? When it comes to finances, you have got to learn how to build a business, all right, or how to become profitable with your gifts. What do I mean by gifts? Because some people mistake gifts for calling and purpose and all of those things like that. So let me quickly help someone, all right? And if you're listening to this and you're taking notes, I want you to write down 4 words and follow me. Number 1, I want you to write down gifts. Number 2, I want you to write down calling. Number 3, I want you to write down career. Number 4, I want you to write down purpose. I want to quickly just break down all of these things for you to make it very simple. So God gave us gifts to fulfill purpose. He also gave us gifts to help us feed, to make money. Okay.
Just a minute.
Sure.
Mobola Fabrics is here. Mobola, please, can you write down can you please type out as this talking the 4 tenets he's talking about so that other people that join us later can see it on the feed. Mobola Fabrics, I know you're here, or whoever is here that can help us type on the comment section. Please type as Dr. Sam is talking so that other people can see it and be blessed. Thank you. You can go on, sir.
Yeah, Doc, I just want to, just bring out those 4 concepts again for those who are just joining us. Number 1, the 4 quick concepts that I believe will change your life. Number 1, your gifts. Number 2, your calling. Number 3, your career. And number 4, your purpose. Those 4 have been extremely misunderstood a lot in our generation, in our world, in fact, for generations for generations before now. All right, and I want to quickly explain the concept. All right, number 1, your gift. I said your gifts were given to you by God to fulfill your life's purpose. They are the extraordinary abilities that you have that are capable of making a difference in people's lives. When I say difference, I'm talking about an extraordinary level of difference, a supernatural level of difference. I'm finishing up a book that I call You Too Can Work Miracles. The gift that God has given to all of us is our ability to work miracles. That thing you do so well that makes a difference in people's lives. One of them for me is teaching. All right. When I teach, I just have this extraordinary, unique ability to break complex topics down into something simple, digestible for people to run with. All right. And it changes their lives. Sometimes in my classroom, I'll be teaching cybersecurity, or I'll be teaching programming, or I'll be teaching software development. And my student will literally be telling me that for them, this is more than a cybersecurity class. It's more than a software development class. In fact, I was teaching a course just this week, and I was teaching advanced mobile and wireless technology. A student literally stood up at the beginning of the class saying, he's not sure whether he was going to eventually sign up for this course, right? Because there's this other course he's considering, and I shouldn't put him in a group yet. And all. So I just had that at the back of my mind as I taught, only for me to get an email last week and said, sir, and in his words, sir, your class was just extraordinary. I'm not going anywhere else. I've decided to sign up for your class because it's a gift for me. All right, it's a gift. So somebody is listening to this. You need to find what makes you supernatural, what makes you work miracles, that unique ability about you that is uncommon. Other people may do it to make money. Other people may do it as a money-making venture or as something to be paid for. But you are doing it with the supernatural grace and anointing of God. This is very important as well. Our gifts are an extension of the grace of God on our lives. And grace means the ability, listen to this, God's own ability for you to do what God only can do through you. That's grace. Let me make it simple. Grace is God's power at work in man to produce godlike results. Grace is God's power at work in man, in any man, to produce godlike results. Some people have that God's power at work as they cook. Some people have God's power at work when they write. Some people have God's power at work when they are coding. Some people have God's power at work, in different areas of life, right? For me, it's teaching, it's speaking, it's writing, it's communication, it's coaching, all right? And I've realized that, all right? And that's very powerful. So converting that into a business, all right, is trying to make a career out of that. But let's go to the next one, which is calling. Calling is the burden you feel to solve a particular problem. That is a calling. And that's why you can have multiple callings, because you can have multiple burdens across different areas of life to solve specific problems. Okay? What qualifies something as a calling? It's not just the body. It is the corresponding equipping of God to solve that problem.
Come again.
The corresponding equipping by God to solve the problem. In other words, you have a gift that addresses that burden you feel for that problem.
So in other words, you cannot fulfill your calling if you don't have the corresponding gifts that will help you.
Because you could just be emotional. You could be emotional about the fact that, oh, there are some kids around your neighborhood who are not wearing clothes and they don't have parents to look after them. You could just be emotional.
So, to validate if your calling is genuine or not, or if it's
there must be a corresponding
gift that you have that can solve.
Okay. Yes, it's not just the compassion alone. It has to also come with the gifts to solve that problem. So you must have gifts. So for instance, you see kids around your neighborhood who are not always, who are not always well dressed, or who are behaving erratically, or something like that. You must have the corresponding leadership ability to take them under your wings to solve that problem, or to create an enterprise, to make sure other people are the ones solving the problem through donating to you or whatever. There must be a corresponding equipping. That's what qualifies it as a calling. It is not just the burden that you feel. So many people have been distracted by good things that they've missed the right thing. So there's a difference between the good things, doing good things, and doing the right thing. Right. The right thing is the evidence that you have a corresponding equipping by God to do that thing, to solve that problem. So it's not every problem that you are born to solve, or it's not every problem you notice, or every problem that draws your compassion that you are actually called to solve. It's the one that you have a corresponding equipping, corresponding gifting to solve, that is your calling. Otherwise, you'll be distracted chasing too many, shadows. I always tell people that if you chase two rabbits, you likely miss the both of them. All right. You must learn to focus. So that's number 2. Number 3 is your career. I always say that the greatest career is the one that aligns with your calling. Whereas our career is to make money, in quote, your greatest career is the one that addresses the burden that draws compassion through your heart.
Come again.
I said that whereas your calling, your career is to help you make money and make a living, the greatest career is the one that aligns with your calling. In other words, the one that draws out your compassion to solve a problem in our world where you have a corresponding gifting to meet or solve that problem. So many people want to separate both of them. And I understand, because so many people study the wrong courses in school. Maybe you were given a course in school that you hate, but because you've been looking for admission for a long time, especially us Nigerians, and you had to take the course, and now you feel stuck. Don't feel stuck, because listen, you could actually have gone through that education as a way of training you as something that could be useful, transferable to your calling in life. So don't ever feel stuck. I always tell people, you are not what you studied. Don't create an identity based on your education. It's a fallacy. It could lead you down a drain of emptiness, a bottomless pit of void and unfulfillment. And so many people are living that life, and they're depressed and stressed and feeling used, reduced, and abused in their life. You don't want to have that kind of life. You are not what you studied. All right. So in case you've studied the wrong course, clearly something you hate, your parents forced you, or whatever, all right, you're listening to this, and that is you can rewrite your story. Take whatever has happened to you in terms of your education as a training, as a equipping for the right career, for your calling. So what do? Now that you hopefully know what you're supposed to do, go back to school. Absolutely. Go back to school. When I say school, I don't actually mean the 4 walls of a university. If you can afford that, if you still have the strength and the energy for that, by all means go there. But you can take short courses. You can take short courses, with leadership organizations, with management organizations, with different, and retrain yourself in that area that you actually feel a burden to solve a problem in, and that you have a corresponding gifting in. I always say that there are 4 things or 5 things you must do with your gifts. Number 1, you've got to discover your gift. You've got to ask yourself the question, what is that area of life where I function supernaturally, where I feel extremely qualified to actually act That is your gift. That's how to discover your gift. All right. I will still talk about the difference between that gift and purpose very soon. Number two, you must refine the gift. In other words, you must go back to school and learn, because it is very possible to be average at your gift. I know some people will find that very too deep, but we don't have the time to really explain that. All right. It is possible to be average at something you're actually gifted to do, especially when you bury that thing and fail to use it on a daily basis. You will become average at it. In fact, people will not recognize that you're gifted.
And environment also play a very important role.
It does. But the person, your acceptance, your embrace of that gift is way more important than the environment. Because many people, they are so unaccepting of their gifts that they neglect. Remember I said the gifts are an extension of grace, right? Whenever a man neglects grace, you can never benefit from that grace. So many people have neglected their gifts. In other words, neglected the grace of God in their life, and that's why they never profit. They never benefit from that grace. So somebody is listening to us right now. You want to refine your gift. How do you refine your gift? You refine your gift through being trained in that area more, being educated in it more, practicing it from time to time, using it to add value to lives, creating things that would, bless people, that would add value to life. That is refining it. All right, very important. Number three, you then add value to lives regularly. So at the beginning, when you start to do this, it would have to be free, because people don't know you. All right, so it's very important that you give it out for free. Let people truly test that you have a gifting in this area. And, in my book, that's what I call you beginning to work miracles on a small scale. All right, within your neighborhood, in your community, in your church, in your environment, all those environments that Doc mentioned earlier on, that gives you the opportunity to amplify the power of that gift. All right, to create a brand, you begin to do it for free. All right, and after a while, when you are so glaringly sure that this is indeed a gift, lives are being touched, there's a difference being made in lives. You now feel as a person of influence, because you're adding value to lives. People's lives are being changed. People now, based on what you say and do, there is a capacity that you're developing in people to create change in their lives. Then you can turn it into a business. It is now so sure, all right, and so glaring that whenever you do this thing repeatedly, you would always get results. Result is what births a business. When you cannot generate result, no one's going to pay.
Nobody is writing these things on the comment section. Please, all these nuggets.
I think people are writing the comment section. People are writing it down in their notes.
I feel like I'm in a lecture room. I'm so engrossed.
Glory
Jesus
to
Christ.
God. Glory
you
to
have even
God.
taken. Oh my! I was praying to God. I wanted this to be organic, and it's so organic, and I'm so grateful.
Praise God.
And it just shows that you're passionate about this. You're gifted in what you're talking about. You don't even have to think about it twice, and that's how to know.
Praise God. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc.
Dr. Mashile, please give us the notes on the comment section. I want people to be engaged.
Somebody said they're writing in their notes exactly.
See, my notes is full. See, even me, the interviewer, my notes is full. Nobody
wants to type on the screen and miss it on their notes. That's what's going on.
I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. Okay, continue. I just hope we can do this live as long as Instagram allows us. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So as I was saying, the 4 things you must do with your gift before we go back up to those 4 concepts that I mentioned earlier on. I said you have to discover the gift, you have to refine the gift, and then you have to add value to lives on a daily basis. And the 4th thing is you've got to profit from the gift. This is where many people don't understand what to do with their gift. You've got to build a brand around that gift. You've got to build a signpost that points to you, all right, that every time people think about that problem that your life addresses, they think about your name, they mention your name. If someone's thinking right now about building a business from your PhD, you've got to think about Dr. Murtala. If someone's thinking about how to discover their purpose, they've got to think about Dr. Sam. Remember the story I mentioned earlier on? I told you that I called my dad and said, Dad, the reason why we were poor when we were young is because people didn't know what to come to us for. That was it. Somebody's listening to this right now. You'll be very poor when people don't know what to come to you for. When people don't know what to pay you for, you will be very poor. You will die poor if you're not careful.
When people don't know what to pay you for, you will die poor. Sir, please hold on. Let me quickly write that one down. When people do not know what to come to you for, do not know what to pay you for. I'm going to use that as a reel. Yeah. Do not know what to pay you for.
You will die poor. Yeah. Yeah. So the
Okay.
reason why many people are poor is because people don't know what to pay them for. Because money is exchanged on the platform of value. People don't just
Value.
give you money because you are beautiful or you are handsome or because they just have compassion on you. If they do that, they will just be giving you beggars money. But if you want to demand what you're worth, if you want to demand what is really valuable, then you've got to actually truly deliver value. All right. And this is the reason why many people are always begging for money and they're always doing fine bara and all of those things like that. And this is the reason why many pastors also do this too. They're always doing fine bara and all of that. They are yet to realize that what they have is a gift. And if they turn it into something valuable, then they can demand whatever payment from people to give that value. That is the truth. You know,
And do you know, sir,
yes.
do you know there are a lot of academics that are brilliant, that are poor, extremely poor.
Very poor.
Oh my
very
God.
I've seen
and they're
professors
so
send me
brilliant.
messages. I've seen professors send me messages that they are struggling. Literally, professors. Professors. Yeah. So there's a difference between title and value. So many people have titles but lack value. You don't want to be that kind of person. You don't want to have a PhD yet lack value. You want to make sure that you are intentional about growing in value rather than growing in degrees and titles. Many people chase degrees, they chase honorary degrees and all of that, yet their value is so low. Their value, you want to make sure that you're growing in value. And how do you grow in value? God has given everybody equally. When I say equally, I don't necessarily mean that everybody has 5 gifts or 2 gifts or 3 gifts. What I mean is that everybody has at least one gift. And that one gift is capable of transforming your life into someone that is wealthy and rich. God gave us gifts for 3 major reasons. Number 1, to expand the kingdom of God. So if you're listening to this, God has given you that gift to cook.
Down. 3 major reasons.
That gift to cook, to write, to speak, to do sciences, to program, to code, to do all of those things, to teach. All right.
Come again. Of God's you said kingdom. To expand the kingdom of God.
Number 1, to expand God's kingdom. Number 2, to add value to lives. And to solve problems in our world. I mean, imagine if everybody is just thinking, about themselves alone and they are not solving the problems in our world, then maybe you and I won't be here. We will not have Instagram Live because nobody will create Instagram for other people. All right. Number 3, this is so important as well, as equally as the first 2. It is also to enrich your pocket and to make you rich. Yes, the source of your wealth. Sorry, Doc.
I don't know, that's the question there. It's to enrich your pocket and to make you rich. So after you're done with that, I want you to tell us the difference between rich and wealth. Riches and wealth. Because there's a slight difference.
Yes, massive difference. So 3 reasons why God gave you gifts. I said, number 1, to expand the kingdom of God, expand God's kingdom on earth, for your dominion, God's dominion influence on earth, all right, to bring everyone's culture down to earth. Number 2, all right, is to add value to lives, to change lives, to transform lives, all right. No matter what area of life you've been gifted in, you can transform lives, okay. Number 3 is to also feed you, to enrich your pocket. Yes, that's why the Bible says the first partaker of that is you the laborer, the husbandman. You are the first partaker. If you are not eating from your gift, something is wrong with you. And I know some people have been misguided and brought up with this upbringing that your gift can only be used in church. You just need to, you can only use your gifts of preaching and your gift of ushering, in church only. Excuse me. You must learn how to take your gifts outside of church as well. If you're a keyboardist, don't just play in church as well. Learn as much as possible to take that gift. And I don't mean playing worldly music. I mean playing valuable music. Valuable. The key word is valuable. You must use that gift for something valuable. I said earlier on that money is exchanged on the platform of value. Money is exchanged on the platform of value. Whenever what you do adds value to life, you can demand what you're worth. Hey, my sis is here. My blood sister, Grace Ekundayo. God bless you, dear. All right. You can demand what you want. And this is the reason between people who are financially free and people who are not. All right. People who are not financially free, they cannot demand what they're worth because they don't even know what they're worth. All right. But people who are financially free, they know what they are worth, so they can demand what they are worth. I remember, speaking to one of my very good friends. She could be live watching this right now. And
Sister Grace, won't you say you love me too? It's only your brother you love. It's not good though. How are you?
I love you too, dear. Thank you, Doc. One of my very good friends, she wanted to book a clarity session with me recently, not too long ago. And she went on my website where I gave her the link. When I say my good friend, we are not very close, but we're growing in the friendship. And she looked at how much how much it costs to actually sit down with me for an hour. And she said, Dr. Sam, this is expensive. I said, no, this is not expensive.
It's not.
This is the reflection. This is the price you're paying for the value you're getting. So if the price, if by the way, I charge $599 to sit with people for 1 hour. And I've sat with, to the glory of God, I've sat with many people for 1 hour, $599. That's cheap. All right. There are people who charge $10,000.
Yeah, I'm still coming there. I'm still getting there. My own is $200, but I'm still getting there.
You're getting there. All right. But Doc, it is like, I love the word. I love what you just said. And somebody needs to catch that. I am getting there. In other words, I am growing in value. I may not be there now, but I'm growing in value. The value that I bring to the table is getting there. I'm refining my gift. I'm developing myself. I'm growing. I'm learning till I get there. Guess what I started with? I started with $49. People will sit with me and sit for 2 hours, and I will just charge them $49, Doc. That was what I started with in 2016, 2017. All right. I was just talking about it in my inner circle recently, and one of them actually testified because they've been with me for that long. All right. They were in the days of paying $49. Now they are no longer paying $49, and they're still with me. All right. The point I'm trying to make is you must be growing in value. So you may not be there now. Don't keep saying, hey, these things are expensive. Go and find the money and learn. Yes, go and find the money and learn from those people. I always say you cannot charge $10,000 until you have paid $10,000 for something too. You can't. You always feel it's too much. You always feel it's too expensive. You will never be valuable, or if you keep getting afraid of valuable people. You always call it expensive. You always call it, hey, they are looking for money. That is the reason why many people will die poor and they will never be valuable. And you cannot charge $10,000 if you have not actually bought something for $10,000. When I say something valuable, something literally abstract, that it takes your trust, to actually get that value. You will never be able to do a business where you charge that, because you always feel it's too much. You always feel like a fraud to charge that. I hope somebody got that. All right, let's go back to those 4 concepts earlier.
The fourth one, the 3 major reasons we're done with that to enrich your pocket. Okay, so now let's go back.
Yes, so we've mentioned a lot of concepts and frameworks today, all right? And we don't have the time to go deep on them. We've talked about the 3 reasons why God gave us gifts. We've talked about the 4 things you must do with your gifts. But there was one we did not finish, the 4 key concepts of gifts, of calling, of career, and then the last one is purpose, all right? If you missed any of those, please go back after Dr. Motala saves this on our platform. Go back and watch. It will literally change your life. You're late. All right. So the last concept is the concept of purpose. This one is so important. Many people get this wrong. What is the definition of purpose? Purpose is the original reason why something was created. It's the original reason. The very why something was created. Let me give an example. All right. This is the case for my airport. All right. No matter how much I try, I would never understand the original reason why the creator of this airport decided to create this. Unless I get into the manual to read the mind of the creator, to listen to him tell me why he created it, I would always make it up. And this is why many of us, we do not live to our truest potential, because we keep guessing our purpose. You cannot guess your purpose. You can't look at you and say, oh, Dr. Motala, you talk a lot, so I think you should be a lawyer. Or Dr. Motala, the way you are built, I think you should be a model. somebody listening to this, you've heard people say that to you, Dr. Metal. I'm sure people will look at you and
I
say,
remember when I started my PhD and I got to my research lab, people were looking at me, they were like, what are you doing here doing chemistry? You should be in the fashion industry. What are you doing here? Like,
you know,
practically, even my supervisor was like, when she saw me, she thought I was male. When she now saw me, she was like, what?
what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. And this is so important, Doc. Oh,
can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, now we can.
Sorry,
we
a
lost
call
you for a
came in.
second.
I was supposed to put
Okay.
Yeah, a call came in. So they usually get shocked that even when I walk to classes and I want to teach my mechanical engineering students, they're like, they'll look at like, did she miss her way? Like,
Who is this well-dressed, beautiful young woman who is in our classroom to teach us mechanical engineering? Yeah, Doc, are you still speaking, or should we continue? We can't hear you anymore for some reason. I can see you waving, but maybe say something. You can hear us as well. I think you can't hear us. And you can hear me too. It looks like you can hear me. No, we can't hear you. Maybe something took off your Bluetooth or something. Maybe that call came in again. Yeah. One way to fix that is to put your try to put your phone on do not disturb or something so that the call stops coming through. Yeah. Okay, so everyone, while Doc is fixing you know, the stuff, yeah, somebody needs to get this. Don't allow people. Oh yeah, a call came in. All right. Hopefully the call. No, not yet. We still can't hear you. Check if your mic is mute or something. Say something, Doc. It looks like we can hear you now. Oh, no. For some reason. Oh yeah.
Praise God. Oh my God, I didn't want to reconnect.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Just give me a minute. Let me quickly other calls so that calls doesn't come in.
Yes. You can put it on do not disturb or something like that so that, yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. If you're just joining us, don't go anywhere. Sorry, we're just on a break, a quick break, just very quick break while Dr. Matala fixes audio and our phone. But it's been a great time. So if you can hear me, please share with us one thing you're learning so far, one thing that has really helped you so far, one thing that has made this live worth it for you so far, that has made it worth your time. One thing, please. Just put in the comments to help some of the people who are just joining us. One statement, one sentence, one phrase, something that has helped you thus far in this life while we wait for Dr. Murtala. Yes, please keep them coming. Keep them coming. I promise when I see them, I will acknowledge them. So please, one sentence, one phrase that has helped you thus far. Yes, Doc, you're back.
Yeah,
We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I was just asking people to share with us one sentence, one phrase.
I heard you.
Oh,
yeah. I heard.
Mental health with DT said the things to do about your talent. Absolutely. It is very important. Many people don't know what to do with their talent, so they end up being poor, they end up less valuable. You don't want that. Akinola Olawumi said to be valuable. Praise God. Good to hear that. Doc, what would you like? Yeah, so we're finishing up the concept of
We're talking about purpose.
Yeah. So let's talk about purpose. Like I said earlier on, that the creator of this airport all right, is...
My phone is just doing nonsense. Okay, continue.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the creator of this airport, all right, had an original reason for creating this airport. The only way I could find out that reason is to either speak to the creator, maybe have one-on-one coffee with him or her, and say, sir, man, why did you create this airport? What was the original idea behind this airport? Or, number two, I go and read the manual, right? Where they've explained why they created it and what is meant to do. I go and read it thoroughly to understand. I did this in one of my classes lately. And I asked my students, well, why do you think, what do you think is the purpose of the iPad? And everybody gave different reasons. Doc, you'll be shocked. I then played a clip of Steve Jobs' explanation of the purpose of the iPad. Everybody was shocked. It was completely different from what everybody thought the iPad was meant to do. Because it is only the creator of a thing that can reveal its purpose. Every other person is just guessing. Or it is the creator of a thing that can reveal its purpose. Because purpose is not what you do. Purpose is not function. Function is gift, but purpose is the reason behind the function. Purpose is the reason behind the creation. So when we talk about your purpose, we don't mean what you do. We don't mean that you talk a lot, or you can teach, or you can write. That is not your purpose. That is not your calling either. Your purpose is the reason behind why you were created. So for instance, maybe you were created to solve the problem of malnutrition in Africa. That's the reason. So the fact that you became a nutritionist, or what is that? Is that the name? Is that
yeah. You're correct. You're correct.
Yeah, the fact that you became a nutritionist is not your purpose. Your career as a nutritionist is not the purpose. If you are not solving the problem of malnutrition in Africa, and let's say you travel to Canada and you are now solving the problem of malnutrition or whatever in Canada, you are not fulfilling purpose.
So how do we know our purpose?
To know your purpose is to ask your creator. I always say this, that you can never guess your purpose. And this is why everybody on the surface of the earth needs God. If you agree that God is your creator, then you must ask the creator for the reason why he has created you. Don't just pick up a career and call it your calling. Remember, I told you the other time, the fact that you have a compelling compassion about something is not enough reason to spend your entire life doing it, because you could just be doing something good and not something right. It's a dangerous thing to have lived your entire life only to realize you've only done good things and not the right thing. It's a dangerous thing. You've got to ask your creator. Find out from your creator, why did you create? All right. And then when you get the why, you will literally realize, listen to this, you will realize that there is something apt that you must be doing to answer the question of that why.
Come again.
When you discover your why, you will realize that there is something specifically you've been cut out and shaped and molded and formed and created to do to answer that why. So for instance, I was created to help people discover their life's purpose.
How did you know?
Yes. So this was me asking my creator. What happened was, I finished my PhD at the age of 26, and I was expecting to feel so successful, all right, feel so fulfilled. Unfortunately, I felt a deeper void, a deeper sense of unfulfillment, a deeper sense of emptiness after completing my PhD at the age of 26. And it was very daunting for me because I had lived all my life for this PhD. Like I told you, sacrificed not to get married, not to have a full-time job until I had completed the PhD. And here am I, here I was, completed the PhD, yet feeling empty, yet feeling this void. And somebody is listening to this right now. You pursued all the degrees in the world, yet you still felt empty. You thought when you got married, you feel fulfilled and all of that, whatever. And yet you laid your hands on these things, yet you're still feeling empty. The meaning is that you have not discovered your life's purpose. Yes, the pursuit of that degree, the pursuit of that thing had filled up that void for a while, but only purpose fills the void completely. Oh my God. Did you hear that? So sometimes it's the pursuit of something that fills the void for a while. But the moment you lay your hands on that thing, the void returns. And somebody can correlate with you can relate with what I'm saying right now. the void has returned
I
in your
relate
life.
perfectly.
Yes. Some people, they get the PhD, the void returns. Some people, they get the job, that dream job, the void returns. Some people, they get that dream, salary, the void returns. It is because you have actually not discovered the purpose, your life's purpose. You only just pursued something and got the thing.
Dr. Mashili, we're going to help you find your purpose.
Amen.
We're going to help you.
To the glory of God, Doc, this is why people book 1 hour sessions with me. This is why people attend my coaching. This is why people come to the School of Purpose and Impact. This is why, because many people have misunderstood the concept of purpose, and it has made a lot of people empty and void. And that's why I'm able to break it down to this simple. All right. So the point I'm trying to make is this: don't just pursue things because it makes you feel good, because you think you're adding value, because you think you're growing in value. Pursue the right thing. It is dangerous to do good things at the expense of the right thing. Purpose is the right thing for you. It's the right. It may not feel good to other people while you're pursuing purpose.
I wanted to say that.
Yes.
I wanted to say that. It might not even feel good to your parents, to
Yes.
your brothers. They might think you're crazy.
Yeah.
They might think, what is wrong with this person? But to you and to God, you know this is the right thing for you to, and you have a confirmation within your spirit. Anyway,
the truth is this: purpose never feels good to other people but you. It's until you have proven yourself that this is the right path for me, that's when people start to align. But from the very beginning, purpose is a very lonely journey. It's a very lonely journey. You are the only one that will see where God is taking you. Why? Because the concept of purpose itself is
story of my life.
It's only understood by God. Yes, it's only understood by God. So if someone doesn't have the mind of God about your life, they will never truly understand why you're chasing what you're chasing. Because at the beginning, it would not look lucrative. Purpose doesn't look lucrative at the beginning. It's
actually very painful. It's actually a very painful process.
It is a very painful process. It's very lonely at the start. It's very lonely at the start. It is later when you start to grow in value, make a difference in people's lives, change people's lives, transform people's lives.
Begin to see.
So Dr. Matala is there. There.
And then it validates your journey.
It validates the journey. Oh, Doc, you got it. So somebody is listening to this, the 4 concepts we started with at the beginning: your gift, your calling, your career, your purpose. Let's make it simple. Your gift is your abilities, extraordinary abilities that you're gifted to do. Don't confuse it with your purpose. Your calling is the burden that you feel to solve a particular problem with a corresponding equipping to solve it. Please, if you missed the explanation of that, go back and watch the recording later when it's posted. Number 3, your career. We said that your career is what you do to make a living, but the greatest career you can ever have is the one that aligns with your calling. In other words, that you feel a compelling compassion to solve a problem and you have a corresponding equipping to solve that problem. That's the one you wake up every morning, you don't feel like you're actually going to work. You feel like you wake up in the morning and you are coming to yourself. Let me say that again. When your career is aligned with your purpose, you don't wake up in the morning thinking you're going to work. You wake up in the morning thinking you are coming to yourself, because it is what you do. It defines you. It correlates with you. You don't feel like I'm just doing this to make money. It's not another day, another dollar for you. It's another day, another transformation. Another day, another value. And lastly, we talked about purpose. We said purpose is not what you do. Purpose is not what people think you should do. Purpose is why your creator made you. And we've established it very clearly. Nobody can really understand the mind of the creator of a thing but that creator himself. Unless you sit with the creator and ask for why they created what they created, you will never get the original reason. You can make up reasons. 90 people are making up reasons now. They're making up reasons. So they look at themselves, I should be a nurse. They become a nurse. Immigration forced them to become a nurse. They become a nurse. Many people are making up reasons. But I said the other time that it is dangerous to live all your life only at the end to find out that you've only done good things at the expense of the right thing. I hope that has helped somebody.
Amazing. I'm in space right now. Oh my God. You know why? Because it resonates so clearly now. When I finished my PhD, I was in a confused place because I didn't do my PhD because I wanted to do it. I did it because I needed to feed my family. I did it because I needed to, you know, we moved into a new environment, and this PhD was giving us good money. So I did it because this was what I needed to put food on the table.
Wow.
Do you understand?
That's,
and in the middle
deep.
of that, in the middle of that, I got depressed. I had depression for months. I had to treat my depression. I had to get the courage to do it. So in my own case, I didn't do my PhD because I wanted to be a PhD holder. I wanted to be a researcher. In fact, I don't like wet research. I hate being in the lab.
Doc, with all due respect, if I could come in there. All right. Some people are doing jobs that is getting them depressed.
Yeah.
That is getting them sad.
Yeah.
Empty.
Yeah.
Void. I want to quickly, the reason why I jumped in, Doc, sorry, please, I would love you to continue that story. The reason why I jumped in is somebody's listening to this right now, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling empty, you're feeling void, and you still continue on that job. It's dangerous. You should never carry emptiness for too long. By all means, I don't mean quit your job instantly. I mean begin to work out a transition plan.
To find out,
yes. To move from that job to your career. And of course, if you're depressed, please quit immediately. I mean, there's nothing worth losing your mental health over. If you're depressed and you know that you're going down a rabbit hole, please quit immediately. I'm reading this book right now titled The 5 Regrets of the Dying. There's one chapter in it, Doc, that everybody in the entire world must read. The 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. All right. And she said,
somebody please type that in the comment section so that people can get the book.
The top 5 regrets of the dying. The top 5 regrets of the dying. Yes, by Bronnie Ware. I want to quickly speak to this, Doc. She said, nobody wants to die and they're thinking, oh, I made $1 million in my life. Oh, that's great. You know, and that's what makes them feel fulfilled on their deathbeds. Nobody. 2 major reasons, 2 core reasons why people feel like they are ready to go and they are happy to go. Number 1, they feel like they have made a massive difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
Number 2, they feel like they have lived for purpose. And that number 1 also entails having love around them, right? They made a difference in the life of their children, in the life of their spouse. They've lived a well-loved life and love surrounds them, right? So nobody wants to die and go, oh, yes, I built a great career, I'm now a CEO. Nobody. In fact, she said this, and I quote, whenever you see people and they're about to die and they're afraid to die, it's because they always feel that they've not done those 2 things well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When you are scared of death, there's so many things you did not live for.
Yeah. But when you see people who have truly lived a fulfilled life, whenever they're about to die, they die peacefully. In fact, they will tell you joyfully, it's time to go. You know, I
have run the race. I have
in the words of Paul,
finished
my course. Exactly. So somebody is watching this right now. Apologies, Doc. One more time. The reason why I cut off was I wanted to speak to that. Here. Yes, I wanted to speak to that. Somebody, you're just chasing jobs, chasing positions, chasing titles, chasing this, and you're getting depressed over and over and over. What you're doing is you are just advancing in career, but you're not advancing in purpose. You must find out the reason why you were created. Yes, your career could be linked to that reason, but until you are actually fulfilling that reason, you will never truly feel happy and fulfilled in your life. It is not a curse.
Yes, sir.
It is that reason that brings lasting fulfillment.
Yes, sir.
In fact, the more you advance in something else other than your purpose, the more dangerous it is for you. Because it puts you in a rabbit hole of purposelessness, of emptiness, of void, and this is what sends me into depression.
I'm sorry, sir.
No worries.
I want to ask you a question, and I don't know, the Holy Spirit is prompting me to ask you. It's outside of the scope of what we're doing, but women, most especially married women that are married to spouses, that do not understand this concept of a person being completely whole by fulfilling his or her purpose. And how do we, or how do women, especially when the church has taught you to be subjugate under a man, you understand, how do you fulfill your purpose if your partner does not see why you should fulfill that purpose, or why you should follow that path, or does not allow you fulfill God's purpose on your life?
Yeah, Doc, this question that you have asked there is a minimum of 3 hours question.
Okay, maybe
yeah, that's the truth.
Maybe,
it's a complex question,
do,
but I will.
Just coming up to me, and the reason why I'm asking this question, sir, is because when this lady died, this singer died.
The Ekweme lady, I believe.
Oh my God! Before she died, her video, her views on her YouTube channel was about 1 million views. Yeah. After she died, and everybody started, her views reached up to 17 million within a day.
Wow.
And as I was praying, the Holy Spirit told me that a lot of women and men, but in this case women, die not fulfilling God's purpose for their life, just because they feel that they should be under the subjection of a man. They misunderstand it. And there was a time when I was praying, God told me particularly that when we die single. Yeah. I'm Omotola.
Yeah.
My married name is there. But when I die, God is going to call me Omotola. Yeah. He's not going to call me. There's no marriage in heaven. Everybody is going to express themselves by your talents, and going to give account of what God has laid into your life to do. Irrespective of whether you are married or not married, irrespective of whether the man he gave to you or you gave yourself did not allow you to fulfill purpose, you're going to account to him. And that was when I knew that, oh my God, a lot of women are under this thing, under this course. It was actually allowed by the enemy. You understand? And a lot of women are under this thing. They are not fulfilling purpose because they want to be submissive women. Yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that out there.
I know it's a deep conversation, very complex conversation. Yeah. But I would like to just speak to it for 2 minutes. Okay. I teach a course at the School of Purpose and Influence titled Purpose and Marriage, and it's usually very complex. But God has helped me to draft, something that I teach from time to time that ends up opening people's eyes about it. What is the purpose of marriage? That's where we should start. God created marriage for one core reason: is that the two people will come together to fulfill his purpose for their lives. Boom. And no wonder the Bible says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? This is why everybody listening to this, before you get married, if you are still single, please make sure that after checking all your other compatibility, sexual compatibility, financial compatibility, that compatibility, something compatibility, make sure you also check purpose compatibility. A lot of people have married men, or even women, because it's not only men and women. It's whoever you marry. If you marry the wrong person, you are not going to fulfill purpose. It's not a curse. Marriage is so integral to purpose of men. So whether you're a man or you're a woman, you're listening to this, if you marry someone who does not understand the concept of God's purpose for your life, you will never be able to fulfill it in that marriage.
Except you leave that marriage.
Except it's just that simple. I'm a coach, and I have a lot of my clients who come to me, mostly, to be very sincere, mostly women, who come to me and say, my husband doesn't understand my purpose, and he doesn't want me to go ahead and do it. What do I tell them? Get out of your marriage? No way. So what I tell them is continue to pray, because that hierarchy that God put in marriage, God knows why he put it there. Okay. So if something is not making the marriage to work, go back to the author of marriage and continue to pray. All right. Rather than just bolt out because you want to fulfill purpose, and then whereas God is not, exactly, God is not, even you won't feel fulfilled doing that, because it will be horrible. So, and guess what, Doc? many people have asked them to go back and pray. And they will go back and pray. And after like 6 months, they will come back and say, Doc, my husband says I can do this part, but I can't do this part yet. I said, that's breakthrough. Go ahead, do it. Because they are patient, they are prayerful. God started to, in his mercy, started to correct the foundations. And because they are willing to be patient, to persevere, to suffer long, those words, people don't like them. They don't like the word endurance, perseverance, long suffering. They've forgotten that those words are actually fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. But that's what you must do. Because if you have a faulty foundation, you've got to be patient enough, persevere through to correct it. And that is what you must do in marriage. If you've married, in quote, I won't say the wrong person, but if the foundation is faulty, you've got to be able to stay through and persevere through to the change that you desire, actually does come through. So don't quit your marriage because your husband doesn't understand your purpose. Don't quit your marriage because your wife doesn't understand your purpose. Be prayerful. Ask God, Lord, like a king. The Bible says the heart of a king is in the hand of the Lord, and like the rivers of water, he directs you whithersoever you want. Use that scripture to pray and ask God to change the heart of your husband towards his purpose for your life. If you're truly convinced that is God's purpose for your life, and you're prayerful and you're long suffering, God would eventually make it happen for you. Of course, it will happen in stints, it will happen in steps and processes, but you will be grateful that God is the one making that way and not you forcing your way. That's my short advice.
And that's the wise way to go about it. That's the wise way to go about it. Oh my God.
It's been a very fruitful conversation, Doc. I feel like we could go
People,
on
please
and
ask
on
questions. Put your questions in the comment section. Three things I want you to do. Please follow Dr. Sam Ekundayo. Follow me, Dr. Motola _ Dr. Motola. And if you were joining us for the first time or you're just joining, make sure you watch the replay. This IG Live is extraordinary. Everybody must watch it. Please post, reshare, share, whatever you need to do. Please watch it. Even me, I am so blessed. So please follow our handles, ask questions, and please watch the replay from the very, very beginning. So I think we should round up in a couple of minutes.
Because my boys are waiting for me to take them to school.
Okay, so
5 minutes.
Last question now. I was reading a Bible verse in Matthew chapter 14, and it's the parable of the talents. Parable of the talents. Matthew 25. 25. Okay, so there was the story. So what I wanted to bring out is the last one. When the servant, when the master, the last servant told the master that you are a wicked master. This talent you gave me, I have buried it in the ground, and I have come to give it back to you. Take your thing and let me go. And the master told him, he said, you are a wicked person. I gave you one talent. At least you could have even put it in the bank and make it have interest. So that when I come back, you will give me the interest. You know what the master did? The master now said, okay, you that had 10 talents, you take this one extra. You have it. In other words, to whom much is given,
much is expected.
Even more is given to that person. And he took the one talent out of the one that had only one talent. And that made me begin to think about it. That why do people that follow purpose or multiply their gifts or act on their gifts have more abundance than the people that don't use their gifts?
Wow. Doc, the answer is in that text, Matthew 25. And I'm going to take us to verse 29. I don't have my Bible here, so I can't read exactly
I have it here on my laptop.
Oh, yeah. Verse 29.
It says, for to everyone who has more, for to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away.
That's the answer, Doc. Let me explain. I love the way NLT puts it. NLT says it like this. NLT says, for anyone who use well what they have been given, even more will be given to them, and they will have an abundance. But for those who do nothing with what they have been given, even what they have will be taken away from them. Doc, that is the answer to poverty and riches in life. When you use well what you have been given, God has promised and abundance for you. That's why you see people who do something with what God has given them. They keep doing more. They keep getting bigger and better and better. Why? I wish we had more time.
That was the scripture God gave me at the beginning of the year. This scripture. And I knew that this year I must do that which He has committed to me.
Yes, that's the meaning.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stretch, but I am willing to do it so that more can be given to me and that I should live life in abundance. And I want to allow you go and leave us with that message that indeed, if you really want to live a life of abundance, you must find your purpose.
You must use your talent. Yes.
You must use
the spiritual science behind that is, remember I said earlier on, Doc, that our gifts are an extension of the grace of God on our lives. Yeah. Anytime you leverage the grace of God on your life, you get more grace. And I said grace is power. You get more power. In other words, you can carry bigger things. All right. We don't have a lot of time to explain it. But if you don't do anything with the grace and you frustrate the grace, you have less power and less power and less power until you have no more power.
Kachiko? Can you hear me? All right. So thank you so much, Dr. Sam. God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you, everyone. So we excuse you. You can leave.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, materials to recommend. Please, somebody is asking for material to recommend. I would love to recommend my book.
Musioka, Nicholas, make sure you watch the replay, okay? Everybody that missed this live, please watch the replay. It's so extraordinary. Okay, Purpose.
This book, Purpose in Crisis. This is my book. Purpose in Crisis, Uncommon
Where can we get it?
To find. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. Anywhere all over the world, you can get it on Amazon. If you're in Nigeria, though, you can get it from Robin Heights. Robin Heights is our exclusive distributor. This book will change your life. To the glory of God, I've never met anyone who read this book that hasn't changed their lives. If you're here and you're multi-talented and you're struggling with your many talents, you don't know what to do with your many talents, and it's becoming a curse and not a blessing, you should get this book. Your problem is that you're multi-talented.
Dr. Sam, Dr. Sam, send these books to me now.
Okay,
send them to me.
I will.
Complimentary, all of them. Send it to
your
me.
Address, your address, I will send them to you.
Help me to thank you. Everybody help me to thank Dr. Sam. Thank you so much. Me, I'm starting my own. Everybody start your journey.
And Doc, lastly, if anybody is here, you haven't discovered your life's purpose and you want to, maybe you've made this year that year where you discover your life's purpose, like we've been discussing for the past 1 hour plus, and you don't know what to do, please go on right now. Write this to spinuniversity.org. Let me actually type it before I run off. spinuniversity.org. All right.
University.
Yes, we are accepting applications. Doc, if you can let me pin it,
Okay.
Okay. We are accepting applications right now. I think you need to just long press on it and then click pin. We're accepting applications right now. And in that school, what we just help people to do is discover their life's purpose and live the that life's purpose. If you go on right now to spinuniversity.org, it is completely free. We don't charge you a dime to discover your life's purpose, because this is the calling that God has placed on our lives. And God told us to create this school so we can help more people. All right. We have thousands of applications. So please, you may not even be accepted, but still try anyway. Let me give you one key to be accepted. Write a very convincing letter of intent and you'll be accepted. God bless you. Thanks, Doc, for having me. It's a joy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we release you. I'll just give a couple of
all right.
Summary and then I will close it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my God, that was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you all for joining this live. I am so blessed, and I know that you are also blessed also. And just a sequel to what he's been saying, I have had this burden, like this calling to be able to mentor a lot of professionals on how to translate, their knowledge into affluence. And I know that a lot of people that are brilliant, that are full of knowledge, full of information, that are so, blessed, but are so poor. And I've decided to take this journey, to help as many people that are willing to come with me. And my program, my signature program called DOME, Dr. Motola Mentoring Experience, is going to open up in May. And where we'll have a lot of mentors and a lot of human resource people that would help people bring out the best in them so that our lives can be better. Like he said, Dr. Sam said, when you use your gifts, you will come to abundance. And the goal of everything is that we should come to abundance. The Bible says, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And that's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal, really. So my mentoring program is coming up very soon in May. But before then, if you need help on how to become an academic business person, maybe you have a higher degree, you're somebody who has an advanced degree or a PhD, and you want to start a business, or you want to become an entrepreneur, you don't even know where to start, send me a DM. Let me help you navigate. Let me help you navigate your skills, your talent, and your potential to be able to craft a business for you. I can help you. I have been helped. I have 3 businesses. I have product businesses, and I have a service consulting business. So I can help you. And I speak the language of academia. I have been in academia for 20 years. I know what it means to speak the language of academics. I know what it is, to craft all of that. So if you are in this audience that you have the specifics, please contact me. Send me a DM. Just say work, WORK, type work on my DM, and we're good to go. So thank you all for joining. I think I see Helen Paul. Helen Paul is here. Oh my God. Thank you so much for joining. Helen Paul, it's an honor to have you on my live. Please follow my handle, Dr. Motola, Dr._Motola. I am an academic executive. I call myself an executive academic, and all I do is to help change your mastery, connect your mastery, into wealth. I help academic professionals, help them charge their mastery, know their mastery, leave a message, create a message that they can turn into a wealth generating endeavor. So thank you all for joining me. Till I see you next time on my live, I am signing out. Thank you all. I love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to join. Don't forget to follow me, okay? Thank you so much. So goodbye and God bless.